We are finally live from the CSI Softball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Bavona for this delayed start to the call of Game 2 between the College of Staten Island and Chestnut Hill College. As you can see on your screen, our second camera was set up, and the Dolphins have a sizable lead early. It is 6-0 Staten Island as we play on here in the bottom of the second inning. We had internet issues here on campus. On our end, the stream was showing as live. Unfortunately, our viewers at home only saw a black screen as the Dolphins will add to their lead right here on another RBI hit from Victoria Whalen. She looks to advance on the throw home, and Whalen is out. That will end the inning, but not before the Dolphins score 4 runs. And, Nick, why don't we stay right here through this break in between innings and take a look partially at how we got here. I mentioned it's another RBI hit for Victoria Whalen. She drove in 2 runs earlier with a big blast.
And you'll see right here on our replay, Victoria Whalen, and the score at that point was 1-0 CSI. A huge hit into deep center field, going over the wall for a big 2-run homer. Gives the Dolphins a 3-0 lead at that point in time. And now we are going to go into the top of the third inning with CSI now up 7-0. 8 hits for the Dolphins with 7 runs. On the other side for the Griffins, they have 1 hit and 1 error in this game. No runs so far. So the Dolphins having a strong start to this game number 2 after holding on in game number 1, in which they had a 3-0 lead going into the top of the 7th. Got a little bit dicey towards the end of the game. The Griffins were able to make it 3-2. CSI was able to hold on and prevail 3-2, the final on that one. And they now have a very comfortable 7-0 lead here, Joe, here in the top of the third inning.
Great start for the Dolphins in this one, Nick. And as I mentioned before, our issue with the live stream was that it was displaying live on our end. Nick and I were here. Unfortunately, our audience was not, as they were seeing a black screen. We're good now and hope to be with you the rest of the night. The Dolphins hope we're with you for just 3 more innings. They're out to a 7-0 lead with an opportunity to perhaps end this one a bit early and beat some of the late-night cold weather.
I was just saying, I don't think anyone would complain if that was the case, if they could beat this weather.
So, Nick, why don't you switch our camera to our new view, pitcher-batter from the right field corner. We're working on it. I had to scale the fence to get the camera up there and positioned correctly, but
it's looking good.
I think it came out pretty good.
It's looking good.
I got my pull-ups in for today.
You did.
I don't have to go to the gym now. Any excuse to head right home after this and relax. And for the first time this season, you and I get a chance to see Kennedy Ruth in the circle.
Yes, we do.
Ruth had a very unique distinction yesterday, Nick. I'm not sure if you caught it in the box score. She started the game, was in line to win, her team ahead by multiple runs in the late innings. The Dolphins lost the lead. Ruth then came in to pick up the save in a game that she started.
Oh, I did not see that.
So Ruth picked up a save yesterday. Getting her first start here at home. And for the first time in a long time, I get to say tonight during a softball game.
Right. The lights are out right now.
The last time we had a night game here at the CSI Softball Complex, I believe was back in the 2021 season. Late in the year, the Dolphins were eliminated from playoff contention. However, the other teams in the conference still needed those games between the Dolphins and other conference opponents to be played to determine their playoff positioning. So the Dolphins played, I believe it was the University of Bridgeport. They played at 6 and 8 p.m. Weeknight doubleheader. First and only time that I can recall ever seeing that. We won't see it this year, barring any last-minute schedule changes. And we're okay with that.
We were definitely okay with that.
That's late. The next night, we had another doubleheader scheduled for 6 and 8 p.m., but because of the results of the first doubleheader, the second doubleheader was not necessary. If the Dolphins had won one of the games in the first doubleheader, the second doubleheader, which I believe was against Malloy, would have been necessary. Bridgeport, of course, no longer in the ECC. Count full here on Jen Pokropinski. And she goes up the ladder after that fastball for strike 3.
And you mentioned it, Joe. She did go up the ladder for that one. A little bit towards her chest to swing on that one. Big first out right there for Ruth here in the third inning.
Maurice Guzman, the batter.
Saw her enter the first game. She takes a big swing and a miss, 0-1.
Came on as a pinch runner in game 1. Camille Dunham with the lone hit for Chestnut Hill. They did have a base runner in the first. Nothing more for them. As Guzman chases a high fastball for a swinging strike.
So far early on, Ruth is doing good at getting these pitches right past these Griffin hitters, and now is a strike away from the second out.
Ruth has recorded 7 outs, 4 via strikeout, and make it 5 of 8.
She's been very efficient so far to start this game. Could not have asked for a better start if you're CSI.
The Dolphins expected to have Ruth on this team last year. It didn't work out for last year. But getting her this year is a huge boost for that pitching rotation.
We always talk about how it is to have a lot of depth in your rotation or even in your bullpen. So to add Ruth is huge for CSI because it allows some of their other starters and some of their other relievers to get a little bit more rest. And, you know, if they need them more than ever, then they can get that rest and have the opportunity to pitch the next day.
Time and time again last season, it just felt like the Dolphins were one arm away from being able to close out several wins. In close games, late innings, the starter had their pitch count run up. Opposing batters had now seen them 3 passes through the order, and they just didn't have that one more arm they needed to close out a few games. Not sure that will be a problem this year.
We saw it in the first game. Alessandra Frenza got into that trouble in the 7th inning, and it almost was a case of where the Dolphins, you know, were one arm away maybe of getting out of a jam and getting out of that game. But Frenza, to her credit, able to get a strikeout and then a ground out to end the game with having that runner on third base and only 1 out. So credit to her and credit to CSI for getting out of that first game and getting the win.
Well, it certainly helps your pitching staff when your starter goes the distance. You can't do any better than that. And as you said, got a bit shaky at the end, due in large part, almost entirely, in fact, to a pair of bunt singles. But Frenza got out of it and picked up the complete game victory as the Dolphins won 3-2. Now, it's a point I made when we came on the air. These two teams played 2 one-run games last season. Dolphins certainly hope this game doesn't turn into a one-run game.
Especially with the start that they've had offensively with 8 hits already through just 2 innings. They certainly would like to keep going at this pace and potentially try to end this game early.
So it's back to the top of the order for Chestnut Hill. Leadoff batter Maya Preston got on via the walk. And now Camille Dunham is at the plate. Thanks to our internet, the live stats on my cell phone updating a bit slower. The computer was a little bit faster. Just a bit. I was thinking, I'm pretty sure the 2-place hitter is at the plate right now.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a scramble here overall, not only with the broadcast, but we were also trying to get the lineups in place. That way we can get it for public address and for our stats. So it's a little bit hectic for a second, but we made it through. Now we're here.
For the first day of the season, I'd say we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. We were very surprised that a lot of things were working when we got here, so we'll take it.
What I'd like to see is the battery on our pitcher-batter camera last the entire game.
The battery then would like this game to end quickly if the Dolphins can attack for more runs.
That's chopped foul down the line. Spoke about it earlier. Chestnut Hill playing their first games of the season today. These games appear to be in jeopardy earlier in the day. A lot of work went into getting the field ready.
Great credit to all of our staff here at CSI for getting the field in the condition that we have for these 2 games.
That pitch skips in for a ball. Count now full. Well, this is the last time that softball will be played here for quite a while. The next home game for the Dolphins scheduled for March 14th, if I'm not mistaken, against Georgian Court. So they'll have about 3 weeks, a little bit more than that, before they play here. That's blooped on the infield. Ruth will throw to first, and she had no play there. It's an infield single for Camille Dunham. And now the Griffins have 2 on with 2 out.
Shortstop, number 13, Miana Lopez Del Haro.
Del Haro now comes up here with 2 away. So her catch in the first game of this doubleheader. She's now the shortstop here for the second game.
Now, when Tracy gets vocal in the dugout, how much can you hear over the headset? Anything?
I didn't hear much. I only hear it, I'll tell you in a second, is that when it's into left center field, that's going to drop in and bring home 2 runs for the Griffins.
2 runs in to score. And Chestnut Hill chips away with a 2-out RBI double by Miana Lopez Del Haro. It's now 7-2.
I was going to say, I think I only hear her through externally, not through my microphone, but from my actual
She was about
ears.
2 feet away from me. I wasn't sure how clearly that was
So,
coming through.
Should I put up
Sounds of the game.
Should I put a parental advisory graphic
Not
up?
yet, not yet. It's still a 5-run game. At the plate now, Skylar Cunningham, and she looks at a pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
You know, Cunningham would love to get a hit right here. Had an opportunity to tie the game in the first one of this doubleheader, but was the victim of a ground ball to third base to end it and give CSI the win.
Comes the 1-0. And that misses for ball 2. They'll throw behind the runner at second, but Lopez Del Haro got back in there. And the 2-0 is ripped foul.
Watch out at third base once again. It's been the story of this game for both of these teams. A lot of hard-hit balls down that third base line.
And when Cunningham has put good swings on the ball, she hasn't been able to keep it fair.
She had a lot of good swings in that at-bat with friends in the last at-bat of the game. Kept fouled off a couple pitches, and that ground ball to third base was almost trouble for more, but was able to make the play.
If I'm being completely transparent with you, Nick, I thought we had a tie game. That ball took a bad hop right at the end. It was bouncing around on the infield. That was not an easy routine play.
And it was another case in which we saw, as I mentioned in that game, Moore bobbled it a bit because of how hardly it was hit, but did a good job of taking her time to make that throw to first base.
That's hitting foul territory. And the catch was made on the run. I would presume by Moore, but my angle.
Well, Moore is not in the game. It's Bridget Motley at third base.
Bridget Motley at third
Motley
base.
was the one that made the
That's
play.
what happens when you miss the starting lineups, Nick. We'll be right back. Dolphins lead it 7-2. The Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information. And we are back for the home half of inning number 3 with the Dolphins leading 7-2 after a pair of 2-out runs came home for the Griffins in the top half of the inning. Cassidy Latour will lead things off for the Dolphins. She's 0 for 1 at the plate. That's hit well, but well foul. Second time Latour's done that today.
We've seen a lot of that in this game from both sides, as I mentioned, the last half inning. But yeah, Latour, thankfully no cars were driving as that ball was hit foul.
Latour, the Dolphins' number 6 hitter in the lineup, currently spots 1 through 5, 7 for 10 to start the game.
And how about her also catching for a second straight game? So kudos to her being behind the plate for both of these games here tonight.
And she chased a bad pitch there as the Griffins complete the put out at first. So for our statistician, That's a strikeout swinging, and then a 2-3 on the putout. Steph knows that already, though. Okay. Gave me that look like, what do you think I am, some amateur?
She's not a jellyfish.
Yikes. As I mentioned, heading into break, and there's another nice play by Cunningham on the scoop. Throws a bit low. And we'll have to get a look at that one on replay and see if a good throw had Warner. So, Nick, why don't you cue that one up?
What do you want to call it?
The scoreboard operator is looking over. So we'll get an official ruling in a second. Nick has the replay. All eyes on you, Nick.
She was going to be safe. I would say that's a single and an error.
Single, error. So, Pat, error and a hit. Error on the advance.
Now, the reason I say that is even if the throw was there and she scooped it, she stepped on the bag before, so she would have been safe either way. The error is after the play in which she advanced to second base.
Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, so Stephanie, that would be a 1B, 5, and then plus E5T. And that should get you on to the next play. Did it work, Nick?
I didn't see yet, but that's a single up the middle.
RBI base hit, Bridget Motley. In comes Warner, and the Dolphins lead 8-2.
So that was a single up the middle for Motley. So, Steph, for you, that would be single, then up the center field, so that would be 8. And then the runner from second scored.
Now, for those unfamiliar with our setup, the broadcast desk is in the middle of the statistician and the scoreboard operator. The scoreboard operator is about 5 feet away on the opposite side of the backstop. The backstop.
Now, here's a good question, Joe. I think I actually messed up. That run should not be earned because of the error.
Correct.
Okay.
Not yet. Currently, it's unearned. So to fix that, you would hit the escape key, and then where it says edit plays, you just add a UE to the end of the play.
So
where the run was scored. That's how you would fix that.
Okay. She said she's going to do it at the end.
Nice and easy.
Okay.
Could become earned. Comes the 0-2 to Alyssa Acosta, and that's sliced foul. But technically, I'm the final word on scoring. So Lewis is listening, I see. For those who watched each of the last 2 seasons, there are a lot of Easter eggs during these broadcasts, and jellyfish is one of them, unfortunately for Lewis.
Easter is coming up. It's not too far away.
Good point. Lewis is a big SpongeBob fan.
I mean, who isn't?
That's a good point, too. Who isn't? That's right. That's blooped on the infield, and that's down for a hit. Now, that play is actually interesting. Do you presume that the run would have scored on that?
No. Because if the runner was at second, it's a blooper to left field. They would have had to. The only thing that could have been a situation.
So the bases should be loaded right now.
The bases should be loaded.
All right. So the run still unearned.
Because you could make the case, even if she doesn't make the play, you could still get that force out at third base because it was that close.
If the runner over at third reads that correctly, she scores. But we'll give the pitcher and the Griffins the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yeah.
So the run remains unearned. Bases should be loaded. Mariah Carcano, the batter. Runners on first and second, still just 1 out. Infield drawn way in, and Carcano looks at a strike.
Joe, that was another sequence in which we had the infield in. The ball was hit over the third baseman. And, it was a great attempt at short by Del Haro to try to get that dive over at third base, but just was not able to get the catch, leading to that base hit for CSI.
These couple of games have seen 2 or 3 plays that have really put on full display that sometimes softball can be a game of inches. How about that job to get that paper to stand, Nick?
I wasn't trying to toot my own horn, but thanks.
Nick got his roster to stand up vertically between a set of wires. That's a job well done.
Now, I guarantee you it will blow away now just because we brought it up.
And Carcano slices that one foul. And the count runs full. If Carcano gets on, Eileen Balderas, who has started this game 2 for 2, would bat with the bases loaded. Comes the payoff pitch. And that misses way upstairs for ball 4.
And now, Joe, with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for CSI, this is a dangerous spot right here for the Griffins.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, Nick. We missed the lineup, so very quickly I'll give you the Dolphins lineup. Carcano, the leadoff hitter. The rest of the Dolphins from top to bottom in the lineup. Balderas, Wanzer, Acosta, Whalen, Latour, Warner, Motley, Acosta. And, of course, Ruth in the circle. That's the starting lineup for the Dolphins as that's hit toward the left field line, falling fast, and the sliding catch is made in left field. What a play out there by Dunham. That saved at least 1 run. If that bounces over her glove, the bases may be cleared.
That's a great play from Dunham right there. Huge out number 2 for the Griffins, and they keep this 8-2. Bases still are loaded for the Dolphins with 2 away. It's going to be up to Wanser now. But in a very nice game number 1 to try to bring up some more runs.
All right, so with that walk, the run becomes earned. So all you have to do is go back and space bar out the UE. That's for our statistician, Stephanie. So when the inning is over, you just go out of the edit plays section or into the edit plays section and space bar out that UE. Bases loaded, 2 outs now. Olivia Wanzer, the batter, and she takes high. Now, the team didn't want this spoiled before the doubleheader was over, but it's now public. It's online, so it's out there. Wanzer is the ECC Rookie of the Week for last week.
Congratulations to her.
And that's it out to shallow right center, but it is gloved on the run at second for the final out of the inning as Pokropinski just got there in time to save another couple of runs. But not before the Dolphins tack on 1 more to their lead. CSI in front, 8-2 after 3.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we're back from the CSI softball complex as the Dolphins lead it by 6. Our score 8-2 Staten Island through 3. 11 hits for the Dolphins through the first 3 innings. And Nick, couldn't have asked for a much better start to this game.
You've gotten a lot of good things from the Dolphins from both sides, but from the offensive side, you've seen a home run hit, you've seen a couple of walks being delivered as there's a ground ball to Motley, throw on the first for the first out of the inning. They've been working the count very efficiently as well. A couple of gappers into the outfield to get some runs in. A lot has gone right for CSI in this game. And now they have this 8-2 lead here in the 4th inning, trying to get a potential early win if they can.
Dolphins would need a couple more. The lead is 6 right now as
there's a conversation at the first base line. Not sure. It could be they're going to look for the trainer, I believe. Is that what the...
Over there. Allison's already down now. Allison's down there.
They're looking for the trainer. Everyone's trying to help out. And they already have the trainer.
It's a pointing game of where the trainer is.
It's like the Spider-Man meme.
I was doing it here at the
there are 3 of us.
desk.
It actually works pretty well. We're just not oriented in the correct space here. We're seated directly 3 across. It would be kind of awkward calling a game sitting in a triangular setup. One of us wouldn't be facing the action.
No. We'd just be guessing or watching the
Somebody would have their
laptop.
back to the field.
Yeah.
At the plate for the Griffins, Luciana Boggy. And she takes low. Count even at 1. Boggy 0 for 1 at the plate in this game. Camille Dunham with 2 of the 3 hits for the Griffins. They have a couple of errors as well. As Ruth falls behind 2-1. Comes the 2-1. And that's
that one
fouled off Boggy's foot.
That one definitely stung, Joe, with the weather tonight. That one's gonna hurt for a little bit.
Those are not pleasant.
Nope. Neither are baseballs that can hit into the press box either. Directly to your chest.
I have the rare distinction of being hit by a foul ball in the press box twice. One was a direct hit. The other one was on a bounce.
You saved the laptop. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I'll make the same joke I made last year, though it doesn't apply anymore. It's a good thing that last season I had a rock-hard six-pack. This year, there's just a lot of fluff.
You didn't have to cook yourself like that, Joe.
It's been bear mode in the offseason. Let's put it that way. I'm going to Florida in a week. I better hit the gym.
Listen, we got the softball competition here in a couple months. We're gonna need you for that game, so
I might have to wear sleeves for that one, Nick. I went sleeveless last year.
Yeah, wasn't it hot that day though?
Yeah, very. What I'm saying is my arms are small.
Oh. Okay, fair enough.
As Boggy grounds out weakly down the line, 2 away. We have too much fun here at the broadcast desk.
I was telling Tyler earlier, our public address announcer for tonight, he's got to join us for the first time in that game.
Well, Nick and I'm not sure if you were at the desk or not. I don't think you were, since Tyler was there. But we were joking with Tyler that he might defect and jump over to Team Student after that basketball game. As that's hit hard through the right side on a half swing. Throw goes to first. Not in time. And Watson is on with a 2-out single, but we were talking about Tyler potentially defecting to Team Student after we got beaten so badly in basketball. I warned him, not a good idea.
Don't do that. Sal did that, and look what happened. Sal was the only reason the Students scored last year.
Sal crushed a 2-run homer.
Off of Nick
No
Durst.
doubter, 50 feet over the wall off of our colleague Nick Durst. That's chopped down the third baseline, foul ball. Camera's still holding up out there?
It's doing good so far.
All right. It's a good look. I like it. Tracy wants to see. Spin the screen.
Try the best I can without moving a wire.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
That wire's fickle.
That's the only issue. That's the best I can do.
It's all right. When you invest in the equipment, we step up our game. Unfortunately, just about everything except for the transmitter and receiver is at least 7 years old because all of it has been here since I arrived. Making moves, though. As that swung on and missed for strike 2.
That's all you can ask for, making moves. That's all you can ask for.
Jen Pokropinski at the plate. She made the snag over at second base to bring the previous inning to a close. And the 1-2 misses high. Now, once we have our cart back, we can mount that camera to the center field wall. Unfortunately, I cannot scale the center field wall.
And he shouldn't. Unless you're robbing a home run in the Stewards game, then.
I'm not sure if you noticed, Nick, after this pitch, as that's fouled away, but when we thought we were on the air earlier, we wanted to adjust our pitcher-batter camera. So I began scaling the right field wall, and then I realized there's a game going on. I probably shouldn't scale the right field wall right now.
Yes, I did see that.
I was halfway up. I'm like, you know what? We're going to take a seat here.
And effectively, I thought I was talking to people saying that, I see my broadcast partner fixing the camera. Nice play at third base by Motley to end the
That is Motley, not more. We have the lineups now. It's okay. As the side is retired, and the Dolphins maintain a 6-run lead headed to the home fourth.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we're back from the CSI softball complex.
Number 11 is coming in for number 9 in the first slot.
All right. So we have a change being passed along to us right now. And it's on the side of Chestnut Hill. So
Nisa Acosta coming up for the Dolphins. She'll lead off here in the bottom of the fourth, and she drills that into left center. That's going to be a base hit and roll up against the fence. That's going to be a double for Acosta and the Dolphins with an extra base hit to lead off here in the bottom of the fourth. I mentioned earlier, Acosta had a big hit in game one that was ultimately the game winner for the Dolphins in that game. Now a double right here to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning as the Dolphins try to extend their lead. There's a strike.
Well, Nick, as I always say, here at the commentary desk, we must be impartial. There are some situations where that may not apply. And in cold weather is one of them. We are not impartial during this half inning.
No.
All I have to say is I would not be opposed if the Dolphins scored twice.
We saw Whalen hit a home run earlier.
Speaking into existence, Nick.
Could it happen again? Maybe not that time.
That's hit softly. A swinging bunt. Barehanded third by Cunningham. Throw not in time. Infield single for Victoria Whalen. And the Dolphins have runners on the corners with nobody out.
How about Whalen running that one out to get the infield hit?
Now batting the catcher, number 6, Cassidy Latour.
That was a tough play. Cunningham got the scoop at third. Just was not able to get the throw in time. As it looks like Whalen is going to be pinch run at first base.
Pinch
and
runner?
She will. It's going to be Avery Mockery coming in for the Dolphins. First and third for CSI.
You have to escape, Steph, for the pinch runner. F8. 11 PR. Control enter. Control enter. There you go.
Our listeners at home getting an inside detail of how our stats run.
I do it all over here. Stats, play-by-play, troubleshoot the scoreboard, impart my wisdom for public address announcers, you know.
Setting up the cameras.
That's right. I scale the fence to
Scaling
set up the camera.
fences.
The funny thing is, I am not the first person to do pull-ups on a fence during one of our games. Going back many, many years, this had to be 2018, I believe. Softball had won the CUNYAC championship, as that's grounded foul by Latour. During the trophy presentation, one of our staff members was doing pull-ups on that backstop right there behind home plate.
Huh.
He was in the shot. We had to get him off the fence. Baffled. I was baffled. But that happened as that's hit well out to left. And the
It
ball
dropped.
is dropped in left field. Acosta will score.
That's going to be an E7 on the left fielder right there, and that's going to bring home the 9th run for the Dolphins.
I don't want to speculate, but perhaps we are not the only ones who are cold. That is very much an error.
As,
Yeah, I know. Pat
Sir,
can't see.
certainly
We're
an error on
communicating
the
with the
play.
scoreboard operator.
And you even see it on the replay at the very end of
Just
it.
E7, Steph. No advancing on the throw.
As the force out is going to be 1-5 right there as
All right.
Baker threw it to the third
So that will be a
baseman.
fielder's choice, and the runner on second is out 6-5. You good, Steph?
Now batting, third baseman, number 19, Bridget Hotley.
Molly now coming up.
Nick, you
for
take over.
CSI.
I'll go take a look.
First and second one away. Motley up to the plate. Takes the ball 1-0.
Anissa scored. Anissa scored. So there's no RBI. Well, that was deep enough, so there isn't an RBI. That's actually, that's an E7 SF. She's scoring.
Mockery's at second. Our viewers listen to me say that, but Mockery is at second for the Dolphins.
The only error in this inning?
As Molly hits that one, it's going to go foul. Thought originally it hit off of Motley. The ball was going to be ruled dead on the ground, but did not there. So say the foul ball. Count now goes to 2-1 for Motley right here. And Joe, you're back.
All right, Nick. So the official scoring on that ball to left, obviously there was an error on the play that allowed the runner to reach. However, that would have been a sacrifice fly. So that goes down as a sacrifice fly anyway. It's not often I have questions when it comes to scoring.
Now,
Can you do that?
I
I
don't.
think you can if the run would have scored.
I didn't want
It's-
to. I didn't want to interrupt you, Joe. The umpire thought there was 3 strikes. He gave the old strike him out pose.
Ooh.
There's only 2 strikes.
Ooh.
Now he can do the pose.
Yeah, he'll keep
Can't
it.
really do it with
He'll keep
on
it
a
subtle.
swing.
He'll
Yeah,
keep it subtle. Well, he's glad I missed it.
I did not, and our viewers, I can assure you, did not miss it either.
To be fair, I called the batter out earlier when the
Yeah.
scoreboard had the wrong count. So
All right.
that being said,
But-
I did not do a strikeout posture or
Right.
dance.
Now going back to your original statement about the
Can you
scoring-
do that? Scoring a play. Can you have a sacrifice fly and an error for a drop fly ball?
Wow, what a play by
Oh.
Baker.
You can have
I don't
another
know.
snag on the infield.
I don't know if you can.
Well, Nick, Dolphins scored just once. It's 9-2, headed to the top half of the 5th.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
And we're back for the 5th inning, with CSI leading 9-2. Dolphins appeared poised to go ahead by 8. It was not to be. We're about to lose our public address announcer to class. We were scheduled to be underway a bit earlier. We got started in Game 1 about 30 minutes late. That 30 minutes is going to bite us right now.
Yep. Not only for that, but for the weather. The weather is getting brutally cold now.
It is a bit cold.
It's getting. I'm starting to now feel some of my fingers. Starting to get a little bit cold.
All right. You don't need those.
No, I don't need them. I'm okay.
Well, Carcano didn't need her legs on that one. She didn't have to move.
We saw her earlier battling with the sun and having to track down some of those fly balls. Did not have to do with that.
You won't have to worry about the sun right now.
No, you do not.
I don't think we've been out here this late to call a game.
I certainly
ever.
have. I certainly have not.
Yeah.
This is a spectacle to see.
We're going to have some doubleheaders that begin at 3 this year. So we will certainly get another taste of nighttime softball, hopefully during the warmer month of April.
And we mentioned in our first broadcast, I'll probably see it on Sunday at the Ferry Hawks with the baseball team.
There's a swing and a miss. Count 0-2 on Giselle McLaughlin, who gets her first at bat of this game. Yeah, someone has to get Pat a roster for the visitors. And McLaughlin strikes out. Well, Pat, don't worry about it. Sometimes these things happen. All right, we've lost our public address to class. Don't worry about it, Nick. Don't worry about it.
Well, hopefully, I mean, like I said, we're not trying to be biased. We don't want to wish for it to happen, but, yeah.
I think the viewers supporting Chestnut Hill and their families will understand. They'll understand where we're coming from.
Now, the question's going to be, will they play the
It doesn't mean they're rooting for the same thing. It
Right.
just means they understand where we're coming from.
The question is, will one of them over there play the walk-up music for CSI? Well,
if we had that 30-foot cord that I had asked for, we could play it from here, but
yeah. So what you're saying is we're going.
To be fair to Pat, Marquise also declined to do the PA.
That's true.
He's comfortably watching from the dugout.
He's trying to stay somewhat warm.
There's a 2-out base hit for Camille Dunham.
That went under the glove of Acosta, so and he continues for the Griffins right there. Nonetheless, we do thank Tyler though for his work today.
Yes.
We
started on time. We were okay.
Right. You got to hear more of Tyler on Sunday. He'll be the public address announcer for the baseball games at the Ferry Hawks. That's going to go into right center. That's going to be a double, or maybe not. It's going to hold the runner at first. So they'll be first and third for the Griffins with 2 away. As they will try to get some 2-out, a little bit of 2-out magic here. Try to keep this game going.
That will bring up Skylar Cunningham. And she's come up in quite a few big spots today.
Defensively and offensively, she certainly has been in a bunch of spots for this team. She's made some great plays at third base. It's a lot of good contact hits in these 2 games, and looks to bring home a run here.
That's popped up, shallow left center, and Carcano has it to bring the top half of the 5th inning to a close. Griffin Strand 2 more on base. The CSI lead remains 7. Staten Island 9, Chestnut Hill 2.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. we rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Bottom of the fifth here at the softball complex. Madison Edwards is going to pinch hit for the Dolphins here to lead off the bottom of the fifth. Dolphins still lead this one 9-2. So Edwards will get her first at bat of the day. He takes the first pitch, ball 1-0. I'll be joined by Joe Foreman in just 1 second. He's putting on his headset now.
For the first time ever, Nick, we lost the staff for the class during a game.
That's definitely a first.
Tyler, a diligent student, but it's awfully quiet without the public address announcer.
There is
now all ears on us.
There is a certain void that is missing right now in this game.
The dugout making a lot of noise as Edwards looks at a strike.
Do you give someone in the dugout the opportunity to do it? You tried Marquise. Maybe someone else wants to do it. I don't know if that'd be...
I don't know who you're insinuating.
I'm not insinuating anyone. I'm just saying anyone that's in the dugout.
Oh.
There's no insinuation of
I
a particular player.
think most of the contingent in the dugout is occupied with the game. Marquise is the only one who is able. But we've thrown him under the bus and ran him over a couple of times already. So
we've had a roadkill reference one time in this broadcast.
One time or another as Edwards strikes out. Well, I was about to say when the inning started that there are some situations where it's okay to be a bit biased, and I would not be opposed to the Dolphins scoring a run here.
I don't disagree. I don't want to, like you said, not be biased, but at the same time, I also don't want to be cold. So,
what's worse, being biased or very cold?
Very cold.
You didn't hesitate.
No hesitation. Joe, if anyone knows me, I hate the cold weather. I am not a fan of it.
I was surprised you didn't dress more warmly.
I have three layers under this.
Really?
Yeah. I dress
Valderra's
warm.
helping your cause as that's hit the center field, where the outfielders in center and right are sporting jackets. That gives you an idea.
I was
going to
say it looked like they were wearing a jacket for a second. I thought I was seeing things for.
You thought maybe they left the uniform at home.
Yeah, that's why I thought something was up.
So Valderra's has another hit, and she's had quite the day. Valderra's in this game is now 3 for 4. That's popped up down the line.
That's a foul.
Foul ball. Valderra's 3 for 4. Wanzer at the plate, 1 for 3. Acosta behind her is 2 for 3. And Whalen is 3 for 3.
The heart of the Dolphin order right there. Doing wonders today.
A bit lower in the order. Motley, 2 for 3. And the throw goes to second there. Wanzer will reach on a fielder's choice. Valderra's erased, and there are 2 gone.
So Costa now comes up to the plate with 2 outs. And you're right, Joe. Not hearing a walk-off song right now, it just feels weird. Does sound a little bit weird right now.
It happens.
It does happen. It's an unfortunate circumstance.
That's popped up. Right side, and it falls.
That's going to be an E4 right there. So
Yep.
that will continue the inning.
All right, I'm needed at the stats desk again, Nick.
So while Joe attends to that, I am back on the call. First and third, 2 away, Victoria Whalen. You mentioned earlier a big 2-run home run in the bottom of the first inning that kickstarted the Dolphins' start to this game. Gave the Dolphins at that point a 3-0 lead. They now have a 9-2 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and With one swing, she could add to that lead. She swings and misses right there. Count 0-1. All right, Joe, you're back.
Yeah, the way I've cornered myself here, I have to get up every time there's a scoring issue as the Dolphins will walk it off. RBI single, Victoria Whalen, and that will do it as the Dolphins go in front by 8 in the bottom of the 5th. Huge game for Whalen. She finishes 4 for 4, and the Dolphins win it 10-2.
Tyler just missed it, Joe. Almost got there at the end of the game.
So close.
Just so close. But nonetheless, the Dolphins do get their win. You mentioned a big day for Whalen, a big home run in the first, and I can't even emphasize it more of how that kickstarted the Dolphins game in this one. 1-0 up until that point, a big home run into center field to give them the 3-0 lead. They would attack for another 7 runs, I should say, after that. They pretty much scored at every single inning of this game.
They did.
And they did. So credit to the CSI offense, and what a start they've had to the season now. They're now go to 3-1 on the year before their Florida trip upcoming next week. So a lot of momentum coming up for the Dolphins.
The Dolphins had a similarly strong start ahead of the Florida trip last year, but that trip saw them come back with just 1 win. They hope for better things in 2024. Their next game will be played down in Winter Haven, Florida. I will be there. I will be on the call, voice only. You can catch that over on our YouTube channel at CSI Sportsnet. I hope to be there for the games on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday right now is up in the air. I think we might have coverage for both of those from other schools. If that is the case, I probably will not be there on Wednesday. So I'll get that sorted out with all the other SIDs. But, Nick, thanks for joining me on the call today. I know it was a bit hectic. It is more than a bit cold now, so you and I will sign off here. Once again, this has been Joe Foreman on the call for CSI Sportsnet alongside Nick Bavona. Our final score in Game 2 of today's non-conference doubleheader, the College of Staten Island 10, Chestnut Hill College 2. The Dolphins took Game 1 by a final score of 3-2.
And
we'll
Joe,
see you all again on Wednesday night.
I was going to say Wednesday night, senior night at the Tank, so be sure to be there for all of our graduating seniors on both basketball teams.
Blackout for senior night. Wear black. Also be sure to come ready as we're going to have a Spirit Week flash sale on CSI Dolphins apparel. You can purchase some of that on the concourse at the Tank. So be sure to take a look at the catalog online. We'll have to share the link over on our social media ahead of Wednesday night's game, but be sure to check that out. And we'll see you all again on senior night this coming Wednesday at the Tank. Women's basketball tips off our doubleheader at 5:30. For now, enjoy the rest of your Monday night.